I just got off the phone with my mom.
Oh, how's she doing?
Oh, she's a little bit stressed out. We just had a long conversation about my grandmother.
Oh, how's your grandmother doing?
So. My
Yeah.
mom and my uncle have their hands full right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a while back they started to notice things every once in a while with my grandmother. For example, her starting to drive more erratically, and they got concerned about that and went to her doctor and explained everything to her doctor, and the doctor agreed, yeah, she shouldn't be driving. So the next time my grandmother went in, my uncle and mom both went, and her my grandmother's doctor confronted her and said, I just think it's time to give up the keys and not drive anymore.
Well, I
And
guess that would.
yeah, understandably, my grandmother was not happy, but she did it.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to that age, I guess that's bound to happen sooner or later.
Yeah. But now, here lately, there have been quite a few more things concerning my mom and uncle. So, ever since my grandfather passed away a few years ago, um, my grandmother's just kind of gone downhill since. They'd been living in Florida, and my mom and uncle decided to move my grandmother up just to be closer to them. And there's no other family in Florida. She had friends there, but no family. And I think it helped her a bit, but um, she's just, in general, I think since he passed away, she's just been going downhill. For example, she has emphysema,
Hmm.
but um, just I'd say in the past year, she's been on her oxygen tank a good bit, a lot, and was even hospitalized. So it's been a problem in the past several years, but definitely gotten worse over the past year. Something else is she's on a bunch of different medications, unfortunately, and she's just been mixing them up lately, which is not good. I think it just makes her cloudy and confused then in general.
Yeah, I mean that can be really dangerous. I mean, she could take the wrong dosage of a medication, and it could be lethal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, they're thinking more and more, like I said, assisted living. I'd say about a month or so ago, they had sat my grandmother down and given her an ultimatum. When they were noticing a few things here and there, like with her driving, they decided, okay, it's time to do something. So they sat her down and said, we're giving you three choices. You can go into assisted living, or you can have someone start coming in regularly to sit with you, make sure you're taking your medications, the correct ones at the correct times, or you can go and live with Susan, my mom. And my grandmother decided she didn't want to live with my parents. She didn't want to put them out, and she definitely didn't want to go to assisted living, so she chose to have a sitter. She didn't like that either, but she realized she had no choice. Well, she had to choose one of the three choices. So she's been having a woman coming in like 3 days a week. And since that this woman has been coming in, then my mom and uncle have realized, oh, she needs someone actually kind of 7 days a week, not just three. And they talked to the agency. This particular woman couldn't come in 7 days a week. So the agency actually found someone else. I think this new person's only coming in 2 days, so that leaves still 2 days out of the week that my grandmother doesn't have anyone coming in. But my mom and uncle are even thinking it's to the point that she kind of needs someone 24/7. Well, not when she's sleeping, I shouldn't say, but definitely when she's awake.
Yeah, I mean that this sounds like a really difficult situation. I really feel for your mom.
Hi, this is Kristen Dodds.
And this is Joe Weiss, and we just wanted to let you know that this material is copyrighted in the year 2008 by Learn Real English LLC. www.learnrealenglish.com.
Hello, and welcome to the vocabulary lesson for the conversation assisted living. Now, in this conversation, I'm speaking with Joe about my grandmother. My grandmother is 88 years old. Actually, in about 3 months, she'll be 89 years old. And I'm just talking about problems that she's starting to have from getting older. Okay, let's begin with the conversation. I start off the conversation by saying, I just got off the phone with my mom. Now, when I say just, I'm talking about a short time before. So a short time before I got off the phone being short for telephone. So a short time before I got off the telephone with my mom. And Joe says, oh. And oh is just a filler word. It's not really needed in this sentence. And Joe goes on to say, how's she doing? How's. This is short for how is. And doing is short for doing. Now, you won't really see doing, especially, probably not how's, in written English, but you will definitely hear them in conversational English. And then I say, oh, she's a little bit stressed out. Stressed out. This means very worried. Stressed out. For example, I used to get stressed out before taking a science test. Stressed out. And I go on to say, and is just a filler word. It's not really needed. And then I say, we just had a long conversation about my grandmother. And then Joe says, oh, how's your grandmother doing? And I say, And is just, it's not really needed here either. It's just filler. And then I say, so-so. Now, so-so, this means not good and not bad. So-so. An example of so-so would be, I asked Joe what he thought of the movie. He said it was just so-so. So not good and not bad. So-so. And then I start to say, and Joe says, yeah? And yeah here means, really? And then I go ahead and finish. I say, Mom and my uncle really have their hands full right now. Or I'm saying they really have their hands full at this time. Have their hands full. This means very busy. Have their hands full. For example, my friends Chuck and Patty have 4 children. They really have their hands full. And then Joe says, yeah. And yeah here is just slang or casual or informal for yes. And so Joe is just agreeing with me. And then I say, yeah, you know, and you know is short for you know. And I go on to say, a while back, or I'm saying sometime in the past, they started to notice, or I'm saying they started to see things every once in a while with my grandmother. Every once in a while. This means sometimes. Every once in a while. For example, every once in a while I like to drink wine. Every once in a while. And then I go on to say, for example, her starting to drive more erratically. And erratically, this means unpredictably. Erratically. And I go on to say, And they got concerned, or I'm saying they got worried about that, and went to her doctor and explained, or they told everything to her doctor. And the doctor agreed, yeah, she shouldn't be driving. So, and so is just a filler word here, it's not really needed. And I go on to say, the next time my grandmother went in, and what I'm saying here is the next time my grandmother went in for a doctor's appointment, and I go on to say, my uncle and my mom both went. And my grandmother's doctor confronted her. Confronted meaning talked to her. And then I say, and said, you know, I just think, or I really think it's time to give up the keys and not drive anymore. Now, when the doctor is telling my grandmother that she needs to give up the keys, what she's saying is that my grandmother should give her car keys to someone, such as my mom or my uncle, so that my grandmother would not try to drive whenever my uncle or my mother were not around her, were not with her. And then Joe says, wow. And he's just showing emotion here. And he goes on to say, I guess that was, or he's saying, I think maybe that was. And I say, and understandably. And at the beginning of this sentence is just filler. It's not really needed. And when I'm saying understandably, I'm saying not surprisingly. And I go on to say, my grandmother was not happy, but she did it. So I'm saying she gave her car keys to, I think it was to my mother. And then Joe says, yeah, I mean, or he's saying, what I'm trying to say, you know, when you get to that age, or he's saying, when you get as old as your grandmother. And Joe says, I guess that's bound to happen sooner or later. Bound to happen. This means very likely to happen. Bound to happen. For example, I always knew that I wanted to live in another country, aside from America. So when I moved to Korea, I would have said that I believed that it was bound to happen. Bound to happen. And then when I say sooner or later, an example of sooner or later would be that I always knew that I wanted to live in another country, aside from America. So when I moved to Korea, I would have said I knew that I would live in another country sooner or later. Okay, moving on in the conversation, then I say, yeah, but now, and but here is just a filler word. It's not really needed. And I go on to say, here lately, or I'm saying about the past few weeks, few meaning more than two. And I go on to say, there have been quite a few more things concerning my mom and uncle. Now, quite a few. This means many. Quite a few. For example, there were quite a few people at the party last night. Quite a few. And I go on to say, so, you know, ever since, or I'm saying after, my grandfather passed away a few years ago. Now, passed away, this means died. Passed away. For example, Joe's grandfather passed away when he was 88 years old. Passed away. And I go on to say, and is just a filler word here. It's not really needed. And then I say, my grandmother's just, and just is a filler word. And I go on to say, just kind of gone downhill since. Kind of. This means sort of. Sort of gone downhill since. An example of kind of would be, I kind of felt like I should have studied more for the test. Kind of. And when I say gone downhill means to have become much worse. Gone downhill. For example, I used to really like the food at Mike's restaurant. But ever since they hired a new cook, the food has gone downhill. Gone downhill. And then I say, they'd been living in Florida. Now, Florida, this is a state in the southeast of America. And I go on to say, and my mom and uncle decided to move my grandmother up just to be closer to them. Now, when I say that my mom and uncle decided, they made the choice to move my grandmother up. Up meaning to Georgia, where they both live, and that's the state that I'm from. Georgia is a state also in the southeast of America. It's north of Florida. That's why I say they decided to move her up from Florida to Georgia, just to be closer to them. And then I go on to say, there's no other family in Florida. She had friends there, but no family. And I think it helped her a bit, or I'm saying I think it helped her a little, but she's just, in general, I think since he passed away, she's just been going downhill. In general. In general means overall. In general. For example, I liked a couple of parts in the movie, but in general, I did not think it was very good. In general. And then I go on to say in the conversation, for example, she has emphysema. Emphysema, this is a disease caused from smoking cigarettes for many, many years. And then Joe says, so he's just agreeing with me, or he's showing me that he's listening to me. And I say, but, I'd say in the past year, she's been on her oxygen tank a good bit. Now, oxygen tank. My grandmother has problems breathing because of the emphysema. So sometimes she has to breathe in and out from a machine. That's what the oxygen tank is that I'm talking about. And when I say she's been on her oxygen tank a good bit means a lot. A good bit. An example of a good bit would be, I did a good bit of studying before my test. A good bit. And then I say in the conversation a lot, and was even hospitalized. So hospitalized, I'm saying that my grandmother had to stay in a hospital for a few days. And then I go on to say, so it's been a problem in the past several years, or I'm saying in the past many years. But it's got definitely, or I'm saying for sure, gotten worse over the past year, or I'm saying it's gotten really bad during the past year. And I say, something else is she's on a bunch of different medications, unfortunately. Now, medications, these are just medicines, different medicines. And unfortunately, I say unfortunately because I wish that my grandmother didn't need to take a lot of medicine. Going back, when I say she's on a bunch of different medications or she's on a bunch of different medicines, a bunch means a lot, a bunch. For example, I bought a bunch of bananas at the store. A bunch. And then I go on in the conversation to say, and she's just been mixing them up lately. Mixing them up, this means confusing them. Mixing them up. For example, my cousin has so many children that I mix up their names. Mixing them up, or in this example, mix up. And then I go on in the conversation to say, which is not good. So I'm saying it's not good. She's mixing up, or she's confusing all her different medicines or medications. And then I say, I think it just makes her cloudy and confused then in general. Now, when I say it makes her cloudy, cloudy means not clear or not thinking clearly. Cloudy. For example, Jimmy drank too much last night, so he was a little cloudy this morning. Cloudy. And then Joe says, yeah, I mean, that can be really dangerous. Or he's saying that can be very dangerous. And then Joe goes on to say, I mean, she could take the wrong dosage of a medication, and it could be lethal. Dosage of a medication, this means amount of a medication. Dosage. And when Joe says it could be lethal if it does this, lethal means deadly. Lethal, meaning it could kill her. And then I say, yeah, exactly. Or I'm saying, yeah, for sure. And then I go on to say, so, yeah, they're thinking more and more, like I said, or as I said, assisted living. Now, assisted living, this is a place for older people to live when they need extra help. Assisted living. And I go on to say, you know, I'd say about a month or so ago, they had sat my grandmother down. So I'm saying they sat her down to talk to her. And I go on to say, and given her an ultimatum. Ultimatum. This is a last request to do something before action is taken. Ultimatum. And I go on to say, you know, when they were noticing a few things here and there, or I'm saying when they were noticing a few things sometimes, like with her driving, they decided, okay, it's time to do something. So I'm saying when my mother and my uncle were noticing things, seeing things with my grandmother, seeing things she was having problems with, like her driving, then my mother and my uncle decided that it was time to do something. And I go on to say, so they sat her down and said, so this is my uncle now and my mother saying, we're giving you 3 choices. And given, this is short for giving. And then I go on to say, speaking for my mother and my uncle, you can go into assisted living. So they're saying you can go to live in assisted living. That's the first choice that they're giving my grandmother. And I go on to say, or you can have someone start coming in, this meaning coming into my grandmother's house. So they're saying you can have someone start coming in regularly to sit with you. Now, regularly means usually or often. Regularly. For example, I used to exercise regularly. Regularly. And when they're saying you can have someone start coming into your house regularly or often to sit with you, this is someone who would be going into my grandmother's house just to make sure everything is going okay with her. And I go on to say, make sure you're taking your medications, the correct ones at the correct times. So they're saying this to my grandmother. You can have someone come in to make sure you're doing, everything's okay with you. You're doing everything, like taking your correct medicine at the right times, at the correct times. So that's the second thing they're telling my grandmother that she can choose. And then I go on to say, to tell Joe, or you can go and live with Susan, my mom. So this is the third choice that my uncle and my mother gave to my grandmother, that my grandmother could go live with my mother, Susan. And then I go on to say in the conversation, and my grandmother decided she didn't want to live with my parents. She didn't want to put them out. Put them out, this means to inconvenience. Put them out. For example, when my parents visited San Francisco, I asked them if they wanted to sleep in my bed. But they said they did not want to put me out, so they stayed in a hotel. Put them out, or in this example, put me out. And then I go on to say, and she definitely didn't want to go to assisted living, so she chose to have a sitter being a person to come to my grandmother's house and help her. And then I say, she didn't like that either, but she realized, or she knew, she had no choice. Well, she had to choose one of the three choices. So she's been having a woman coming in like 3 days a week. And since that, this woman has been coming in then, my mom and uncle have realized, oh, she needs someone actually, or she needs someone really, kinda 7 days a week, not just 3. Kinda, this is short for kind of. And I go on to say, and they talked to the agency. An agency is the place where my mother and my uncle paid money for a sitter to go to my grandmother's house. So I'm saying that they talked to the agency, and I go on to say, this particular woman couldn't come in 7 days a week. So I'm telling Joe, this woman that my mother and uncle started paying to go to my grandmother's house, she was only coming in 3 days a week, and she'd said she couldn't do it 4 more days a week. She couldn't do it for 7 days total a week. And I go on to say, so the agency actually, now actually is just a filler word here, it's not really needed. So I'm saying the agency actually found someone else. And I say, I think she's only, this new person's only coming in 2 days. So that leaves still 2 days out of the week that my grandmother doesn't have anyone coming in. But my mom and uncle are even thinking it's to the point, or I'm saying they're even thinking it's time, that she kind of needs someone 24/7. 24/7, this means 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 24/7. An example of 24/7 would be a lot of stores in New York are open 24/7. And then I go on to say, well, not when she's sleeping, I shouldn't say, but when definitely when she's awake. So when she's not sleeping, she needs someone there all the time when she's not sleeping. And then Joe says, yeah, I mean, this sounds like a really difficult situation. I really feel for your mom. When Joe says feel for, this means he feels sorry for. He feels sorry for my mom. An example of feel for is, my friend Tom's father just died. I really feel for him. Feel for. Okay, this is the end of the vocabulary lesson for the conversation assisted living. So if you need to now, go back and listen to the conversation until you have a basic understanding of the vocabulary. But as always, make sure that you're not getting too worried or stressed if you're not understanding. Just take your time. And when you feel ready, then go to the mini story. All right. Enjoy the mini story. Enjoy the rest of the lessons. Take care. Goodbye. Hi, this is Kristen Dodds.
And this is Joe Weiss. And we just wanted to let you know that this material has been copyrighted in the year 2008 by Learn Real English, LLC. www.learnrealenglish.com. Hello, and welcome to the mini story lesson for the conversation assisted living. Okay, let's get started with the story now. Jackie has her hands full. She works as a lawyer for 12 hours every day. She needs a vacation because she is really stressed out. Jackie's cousin Mary lives in Thailand. She told Jackie to visit her in Thailand. I don't want to put you out, said Jackie. I want you to visit, said Mary. So Jackie flew to Thailand. Jackie really loved Thailand. Mary had told her that she would really like it, so she knew it was bound to happen. One day, Jackie was at a cafe and she met a bunch of dolphins. The dolphins were playing music in the cafe. They needed a new singer, so they asked Jackie to join the band. Jackie was so happy. She really enjoyed singing in the band, so she decided to stay in Thailand. Every once in a while, Jackie thinks about being a lawyer, but she never wants to do it again. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our story. Now, as always, I will read the story again, and I will ask questions as I read it this time. You can answer the questions out loud after I ask them, if you wish. And if you need a little more time, you can always press pause on your iPod or your computer or whatever you're playing the lesson on. And then you can press play again when you feel like you've had enough time to answer the question. And of course, if you just want to listen, that's fine as well. You don't need to answer the questions out loud. Okay, let's get started. Jackie has her hands full. Does Jackie have her hands full? Yes, she does. Jackie has her hands full. Is Jackie very busy? Yes, she is. Jackie has her hands full, which means that Jackie is very busy. When you have your hands full, it means you're very busy. Who has her hands full? Jackie. Jackie has her hands full. Does Jackie or Mary have her hands full? Jackie does. Jackie has her hands full. Is Jackie really busy? Yes, she is. Jackie has her hands full, which is the same thing as saying Jackie is really busy. She works as a lawyer for 12 hours every day. Does she work as a lawyer for 12 hours every day? Yes, she does. She works as a lawyer for 12 hours every day. What does she do? Well, she works as a lawyer. She is a lawyer. Does she go to school or work as a lawyer? Work as a lawyer. She works as a lawyer. Who works as a lawyer? Jackie. Jackie works as a lawyer. Okay, so what does Jackie work as? Does she work as a lawyer or as a teacher? A lawyer. Jackie works as a lawyer. How often does Jackie work? Every day. She works every day. Does she work only on Thursdays? No, she works a lot more than just on Thursdays. Does she work every day? Yes, she does. She works every day. How many hours does she work each day? 12. She works 12 hours every day. Does she work 8 or 12 hours? 12. She works 12 hours every day. She needs a vacation because she is really stressed out. Does she need a vacation? Yes, she does. She really needs a vacation. She works more than 12 hours every day, so I'm sure she really does need a vacation. What does she need? A vacation. She needs a vacation. Does she need to work more? No, she definitely does not need to work more if she's already working 12 hours every day. Who needs a vacation? Jackie does. Jackie needs a vacation. Does Jackie's brother need a vacation? No, it's not her brother. Does Jackie need a vacation? Yes. Yes, she does. Jackie needs a vacation. Why does she need a vacation? Well, she needs a vacation because she's stressed out. And she's probably stressed out because she works all the time. Or at least she works 12 hours every day. Is she really stressed out? Yes, she is. She's really stressed out. Is she really relaxed? No, she's certainly not relaxed. She's stressed out. When you're stressed out, that means you are not relaxed. Is she really worried? Yes, we could say that. When you're stressed out, you say that you're worried or that you're unable to relax. So, if she's stressed out, then yes, she's worried and she's not relaxed. Jackie's cousin Mary lives in Thailand. Does Jackie's cousin Mary live in Thailand? Yes, she does. Jackie's cousin Mary lives in Thailand. Whose cousin Mary lives in Thailand? Jackie's. Jackie's cousin Mary lives in Thailand. Does Bill's cousin live in Thailand? No, Bill's cousin doesn't live in Thailand. Jackie's cousin lives in Thailand. Who lives in Thailand? Jackie's cousin Mary. Jackie's cousin Mary lives in Thailand. Does Jackie's brother or cousin live in Thailand? Her cousin. Her cousin Mary lives in Thailand. What is Jackie's cousin's name? It's Mary. Jackie's cousin Mary. Is her cousin's name Sarah or Mary? It's Mary. Her cousin's name is Mary. Where does Mary live? In Thailand. Mary lives in Thailand. Does she live in Cambodia or Thailand? She lives in Thailand. Mary lives in Thailand. She told Jackie to visit her in Thailand. Did she tell Jackie to visit her in Thailand? Yes, she did. She told Jackie to visit her in Thailand. What did she do? Well, she told Jackie to visit her in Thailand. Who told Jackie to visit her? Mary did. Her cousin Mary told her to visit. Did Mary or Beth tell Jackie to visit her? Mary did. Mary told Jackie to visit her. What did she tell Jackie? To visit her in Thailand. She told Jackie to visit her in Thailand. Did she tell her to cook dinner? No, she didn't tell her to cook dinner. Did she tell her to visit her in Thailand? Yes, she did. She told her to visit her in Thailand. Where did she tell her to visit her? In Thailand. She told her to visit her in Thailand. Did she tell her to visit her in Cambodia? No, not Cambodia. Mary doesn't live in Cambodia. Did she tell her to visit her in Thailand? Yes, she did. She told her to visit her in Thailand. I don't want to put you out, said Jackie. Did Jackie say that she did not want to put her out? Yes, she did. She said, I don't want to put you out. Did Jackie say that she did not want to inconvenience her? Yes, she did. She said, I don't want to put you out, which is the same thing as saying, I don't want to inconvenience you. To put someone out means to inconvenience them. Who didn't want to put her out? Jackie. Jackie's the one who said it. She said she didn't want to put her out. Who did Jackie not want to put out? Well, she didn't want to put out her cousin Mary. Did Jackie want to put out Mary? No, she didn't. She did not want to put out Mary. Did Jackie want to inconvenience Mary? No. She said she did not want to put her out, which is the same thing as she did not want to inconvenience her. To put someone out means to inconvenience them. So she did not want to inconvenience her. I want you to visit, said Mary. Did Mary want her to visit? Yes, she did. She told her that she wanted her to visit. What did Mary want? Well, she wanted her to visit. That's what she wanted. Who did she want to visit? Jackie. She wanted her cousin Jackie to visit. Did she want Tom Cruise to visit? No. She didn't tell Tom Cruise that she wanted him to visit. She told Jackie she wanted her to visit. Did she want her cousin Jackie to visit? Yes, she did. She told Jackie she wanted her to visit. So Jackie flew to Thailand. Did Jackie fly to Thailand? Yes, she did. Jackie flew to Thailand. What did Jackie do? Well, she flew. She flew to Thailand. Did she ride a motorcycle or fly? She flew. She flew to Thailand. Who flew to Thailand? Jackie. Jackie flew to Thailand. Did Jackie's brother fly to Thailand? No, it wasn't her brother who flew to Thailand. Did Jackie fly to Thailand? Yes, she did. Jackie flew to Thailand. Where did she fly to? Thailand. She flew to Thailand. Did she fly to France? No, she didn't fly to France. Did she fly to Thailand? Yes, she did. She flew to Thailand. Jackie really loved Thailand. Did Jackie really love Thailand? Yes, she did. She really loved Thailand. Did Jackie hate Thailand? No, she didn't hate it. She really loved it. She really loved Thailand. Did Jackie love Thailand a lot? Yes, she did. She really loved it, which means she loved it a lot. Who really loved Thailand? Jackie. Jackie really loved Thailand. Did Jackie or Sarah really love Thailand? Jackie. Jackie really loved Thailand. Mary had told her she would really like it. Did Mary tell her she would really like it? Yes, she did. That's what Mary told her. Mary told her she would really like it. What had Mary told her? That she would really like it. She told her that she would really like it. Had Mary told her that she would really like Thailand? Yes, that's true. She told her that she would really like it, meaning she would really like Thailand. Who told her? Mary did. Mary told her she would really like Thailand. Did Mary or Patty tell her? Mary did. Mary told her. Who did Mary tell? Well, she told Jackie. Did Mary tell Jackie? Yes, she did. She told Jackie. Did Mary tell Jackie to drink some coffee? No, she didn't tell her to drink some coffee. Did Mary tell Jackie that she would really like it? Yes, she did. She told her she would really like it. Did Mary tell Jackie that she would really like Thailand? Yes, that's what she meant when she said she would really like it. She meant she would really like Thailand. So she knew it was bound to happen. Did she know it was bound to happen? Yes, she did. She knew it was bound to happen. Did she think that it probably would not happen? No, that's not true. She knew it was bound to happen, not that it probably would not happen. Did she know that it was very likely to happen? Yes, she did. She knew it was bound to happen, which is the same thing as saying she knew it was very likely to happen. If something is bound to happen, then that means it's very likely to happen. Who knew it was bound to happen? Jackie. Jackie knew that it was bound to happen. Did Jackie know that it was very likely to happen? Yes, she did. Jackie knew it was bound to happen, which is the same thing as saying Jackie knew that it was very likely to happen. Bound to happen means very likely to happen. What was bound to happen? Well, Jackie really loving Thailand was bound to happen. Why did Jackie know it was bound to happen? Well, she knew it was bound to happen, or she knew that it was very likely to happen, because Mary had told her that she would really like Thailand. So she knew that falling in love with Thailand or really loving Thailand was bound to happen. One day, Jackie was at a cafe. Was Jackie at a cafe? Yes, she was. Jackie was at a cafe. Who was at a cafe? Jackie. Jackie was at a cafe. Was Sam or Jackie at a cafe? Jackie was. It wasn't Sam. Where was Jackie? At a cafe. She was at a cafe. Was she at a cafe or a library? At a cafe. Jackie was at a cafe. And she met a bunch of dolphins. Did she meet a bunch of dolphins? Yes, she did. She met a bunch of dolphins. What did she do? Well, she met a bunch of dolphins. Did she meet a bunch of gorillas or dolphins? Dolphins. She met a bunch of dolphins, not a bunch of gorillas. Did she meet just one dolphin? No, she met a bunch of dolphins, not just one. Did she meet a lot of dolphins? Yes, she did. She met a bunch of dolphins, which is the same thing as saying she met a lot of dolphins. A bunch means a lot. Where did she meet a bunch of dolphins? At a cafe. She met them at a cafe. Did she meet a lot of dolphins at a cafe? Yes, she did. She met a lot of dolphins at a cafe. The dolphins were playing music at the cafe. Were the dolphins playing music at the cafe? Yes, they were. The dolphins were playing music at the cafe. What were the dolphins doing? Well, they were playing music. Were they playing football or music? They were playing music. They weren't playing football. Who was playing music? The dolphins. The dolphins were playing music. Was Jackie's cousin playing music? No, her cousin wasn't playing music. Were the dolphins playing music? Yes. Yes, they were. The dolphins were playing music. Where were they playing music? At the cafe. They were playing music at the cafe. Were they playing music at the beach? No, they weren't playing music at the beach. Were they playing music at the cafe? Yes. Yes, that's where they were playing music. They were playing music at the cafe. They needed a new singer. Did they need a new singer? Yes, they did. They needed a new singer. What did they need? A singer. They needed a singer. Did they need a guitar player or a singer? A singer. They needed a singer. Who needed a singer? The dolphins. The dolphins needed a singer for their music group. Did the sharks need a new singer? No, it wasn't the sharks. Did the Dolphins need a new singer? Yes, they did. The Dolphins needed a new singer. So they asked Jackie to join the band. Did they ask Jackie to join the band? Yes, they did. They asked Jackie to join the band. Did they ask Jackie to join the music group? Yes, they asked her to join the band, which is the same thing as saying they asked her to join the music group. So yes, they asked her to join the music group. What did they ask Jackie? To join the band. They asked her to join the band. Did they ask her to cook dinner? No, they didn't ask her to cook dinner. Did they ask her to join the band? Yes, they did. They asked her to join the band. Who asked Jackie to join the band? The Dolphins. The Dolphins asked Jackie to join the band. What did they ask her to join? The band. They asked her to join the band, or they asked her to join the music group. The same thing as the band. Did they ask her to join the army or the band? They didn't ask her to join the army. They asked her to join the band. They wanted her to sing in the band. Jackie was so happy. Who was so happy? Jackie. Jackie was so happy. Was Mary or Jackie so happy? Jackie. Jackie was so happy. Was Jackie happy? Yes, she was. She was so happy. Was Jackie upset? No, she wasn't upset. Was Jackie just a little happy? No, she was more than just a little happy. Was Jackie really happy? Yes, she was. She was so happy. She was really happy. She was very happy. She really enjoyed singing in the band. Did she really enjoy singing in the band? Yes, she did. She really enjoyed singing in the band. Who really enjoyed singing in the band? Jackie did. Jackie really enjoyed singing in the band. Did Mary really enjoy singing in the band? No, it wasn't Mary. Did Jackie really enjoy singing in the band? Yes, she did. Jackie really enjoyed singing in the band. What did she really enjoy? Well, she enjoyed singing in the band. Did she really enjoy watching television or singing in the band? Singing in the band. Jackie really enjoyed singing in the band. So she decided to stay in Thailand. Did she decide to stay in Thailand? Yes, she did. She decided to stay in Thailand. What did she decide to do? To stay in Thailand. She decided to stay in Thailand. Did she decide to go back to her job as a lawyer? No, she didn't. She decided to stay in Thailand. Who decided to stay in Thailand? Jackie. Jackie decided to stay in Thailand. Did Sarah or Jackie decide to stay in Thailand? Jackie did. Jackie decided to stay in Thailand. Where did she decide to stay? In Thailand. She decided to stay in Thailand. Did she decide to stay in France? No, she didn't decide to stay in France. Did she decide to stay in Thailand? Yes, she did. She decided to stay in Thailand. Every once in a while, Jackie thinks about being a lawyer. Does Jackie think about being a lawyer every once in a while? Yes, she does. Every once in a while, Jackie thinks about being a lawyer. How often does Jackie think about being a lawyer? Every once in a while. She thinks about it every once in a while. Does she think about it all the time? No, she thinks about it every once in a while. All the time does not mean every once in a while. Does she think about it sometimes? Yes, that's true. She thinks about it every once in a while, which is the same thing as saying she thinks about it sometimes. Every once in a while is the same thing as sometimes. Who thinks about being a lawyer? Jackie does. Jackie thinks about being a lawyer. Does Mary or Jackie think about being a lawyer? Jackie does. Jackie thinks about being a lawyer. What does Jackie think about? Being a lawyer. She thinks about being a lawyer. Does she think about school or being a lawyer? Being a lawyer. She thinks about being a lawyer. Does Jackie every once in a while think about being a lawyer? Yes, she does. Every once in a while, Jackie thinks about being a lawyer. Does Jackie sometimes think about being a lawyer? Yes, that's true. Every once in a while, she thinks about being a lawyer, which means sometimes she thinks about being a lawyer. Every once in a while means sometimes. But she never wants to do it again. Does she ever want to do it again? No, she does not. She never wants to do it again. Who never wants to do it again? Jackie. Jackie never wants to do it again. What does she not want to do? Be a lawyer. She never wants to be a lawyer again. Does Jackie ever want to be a lawyer again? No, she doesn't. She never wants to be a lawyer again. Okay, so we have reached the end of our story, which means we are at the end of the mini story lesson for the conversation assisted living. Now, please try to tell the story on your own and be sure to use the idioms that we used in the story. Those idioms were, has her hands full, stressed out, put you out, bound to happen, a bunch, and every once in a while. Now remember, you can listen to this mini story lesson as many times as you need to. So please listen to it again whenever you need to. Okay, so that's all. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Kristen Dodds.
And this is Joe Weiss. And we just wanted to let you know that this material has been copyrighted in the year 2008 by Learn Real English, LLC. www.learnrealenglish.com. Hi everyone. Welcome to the Point of View Stories for Assisted Living. I hope that you're in a great mood and that you're excited to get started. Today we're going to hear the same story from the Assisted Living mini story told in 4 different points of view. So we'll hear 4 different versions of this story. Okay, here we go. Jackie has her hands full. She works as a lawyer for 12 hours every day. She needs a vacation because she's really stressed out. Jackie's cousin Mary lives in Thailand. She tells Jackie to visit her in Thailand. I don't want to put you out, Jackie says. I want you to visit, Mary says. So Jackie flies to Thailand. Jackie really loves Thailand. Mary told her that she would really like it, so she knows it was bound to happen. One day, Jackie is at a cafe and she meets a bunch of dolphins. The dolphins are playing music at the cafe. They need a new singer, so they ask Jackie to join the band. Jackie is so happy. She really enjoys singing in the band, so she decides to stay in Thailand. Every once in a while, Jackie thinks about being a lawyer, but she never wants to do it again. Okay, so as you can see, we just heard the story told as if it is happening right now, or as we say, happening in the present. Now let's tell the story as if it's happened, say, 5 years ago. Okay, so here we go. 5 years ago, Jackie had her hands full. She worked as a lawyer for 12 hours every day. She needed a vacation because she was really stressed out. Jackie's cousin Mary lived in Thailand. She told Jackie to visit her in Thailand. I don't want to put you out, said Jackie. I want you to visit, said Mary. So Jackie flew to Thailand. Jackie really loved Thailand. Mary had told her that she would really like it, so she knew it was bound to happen. One day, Jackie was at a cafe and she met a bunch of dolphins. The dolphins were playing music in the cafe. They needed a new singer, so they asked Jackie to join the band. Jackie was so happy. She really enjoyed singing in the band, so she decided to stay in Thailand. Every once in a while, Jackie thought about being a lawyer, but she never wanted to do it again. Okay, so as you can see, we just heard the story told as if it happened 5 years ago. Now let's tell the story as if it's happening in the future. So we'll think of the story 2 years from now. In 2 years, Jackie will have her hands full. She'll be working as a lawyer for 12 hours every day. She's going to need a vacation because she'll really be stressed out. Jackie's cousin Mary will be living in Thailand. She's going to tell Jackie to visit her in Thailand. I don't want to put you out, Jackie'll say. I want you to visit, Mary'll say. So Jackie'll fly to Thailand. Jackie's really gonna love Thailand. Mary told her that she would really like it, so she's going to know that it was bound to happen. One day, Jackie's gonna be at a cafe and she'll meet a bunch of dolphins. The dolphins will be playing music at the cafe. They're gonna need a new singer, so they'll ask Jackie to join the band. Jackie'll be so happy. She'll really enjoy singing in the band, so she'll decide to stay in Thailand. Every once in a while, Jackie will think about being a lawyer, but she'll never want to do it again. All right, now let's hear the story from Jackie's point of view. So Jackie's actually going to tell the story to us now. I had my hands full. I worked as a lawyer for 12 hours every day. I needed a vacation because I was really stressed out. My cousin Mary lived in Thailand. She told me to visit her in Thailand. I don't want to put you out, I said. I want you to visit, said Mary. So I flew to Thailand. I really loved Thailand. Mary had told me that I would really like it, so I knew it was bound to happen. One day, I was at a cafe, and I met a bunch of dolphins. The dolphins were playing music in the cafe. They needed a new singer, so they asked me to join the band. I was so happy. I really enjoyed singing in the band, so I decided to stay in Thailand. Every once in a while, I thought about being a lawyer, but I never wanted to do it again. All right, so that's the end of the point of view stories for the lesson Assisted Living. Now we've heard 4 different versions of this story, so I'm sure you can hear the differences. Okay, now try listening to each version again. And when you feel like you know one of the versions well, then try to tell that story on your own. Then do this for each of the other stories until you can tell them each on your own. It's important to learn these stories very well, so don't go too fast. Okay, that's all. See you next time.
Hi, this is Kristen Dodds.
And this is Joe Weiss. And we just wanted to let you know that this material has been copyrighted in the year 2009 by Learn Real English, LLC. www.learnrealenglish.com